If you should visit the island of Sodor, you will see a lot of the Fat Controller's engines working really hard on the railway. And you'll see a lot of engines like Thomas the Tank Engine passing by. Here he is, look. And as you go around the next corner, you'll see a lot of other engines working hard as well. I suppose some of them are on their way to do other jobs like the quarry or the harbour. Or maybe they could be on their way to a different job. Or they're waiting to have more visitors to come to arrive. One very special day, the Duke and Duchess were visiting, and Spencer was once again in charge of the whole thing. One day Spencer was waiting at the station, waiting for the Duke and Duchess to come and take the tour of the railway.
I'm going to be the leader once again, and I always do this job.
You better be careful so you don't get too puffed up in your smoke box, teased James.
And you are just always a silver show-off, said Gordon.
And just be careful, whispered Dennis, otherwise you'll overload yourself.
Rubbish,
said Spencer crossly. Why would a big splendid engine like me would do that? Then he puffed crossly away. He was only trying to be useful, whispered Gordon. Next, Spencer was taking another tour of another private engine that belonged to the Duke and Duchess. When Dennis came to remind him to be careful along the way. As you go along, there's a busy road, and Bertie the bus will be along there, and be careful that you do not give him a fright, or he will have an accident.
Huh,
said Spencer. He's just a pathetic little bus. I'll show him. Then Spencer roared away like a rocket. Just be careful what you do, whispered Dennis. But the lovely, mighty, and the stubbornest engine in the world, Spencer, was already gone. Spencer enjoyed showing the Duke and Duchess around the island, but he never stopped once to take on more water. Gordon and James were busy working at the station when Spencer roared by like a rocket. "Be careful!" shouted James. "You'll have an accident!" called Gordon, but Spencer took no notice. Just then, Dennis arrived. "I warned him to be careful on the road, but I don't think he took any notice," he said to Gordon and James. "Oh, that's Spencer for you," said James. "He just never ever listens. You wait and see," said Gordon, "'cause he'll be in trouble soon." On the road, Bertie was taking passengers to the station. He enjoyed rolling along the road. On the way, he was on his way to the station when suddenly a big roar went past him, and then couldn't control himself. His driver tried to put on his brakes, but went off the road. Luckily, no one was hurt. At the station, Spencer was very glad that he got there just in time. That night, the Fat Controller was waiting for Bertie. "Where is Bertie? He's very late," he said. Just then, Dennis arrived. He brought Bertie on the breakdown train. "What's happened here?" asked the Fat Controller. "On our way back to the big station, we found Bertie come off the road, sir," said Dennis. "So we went to get the breakdown train and he explained what had happened. Spencer went really fast and he came off the road and he gave him a fright." Now Spencer felt really bad He should have listened to Dennis. I'm sorry, Bertie, said Spencer. I should have listened to you, Dennis, and I won't do this again. I'm sorry. That's all right, said Bertie. I think you're in the rush so you can get to the station. And now I hope you've learnt your lesson, said James. And no showing off next time, said Gordon. I promise. I really promise, said Gordon. The next morning, all the engines were getting ready. Spencer and Bertie were going to take some other passengers for a tour around the beautiful railway. Now no showing off, said Gordon. I won't, I promise, said Spencer, and I will always do as I told this time. This is new, said James, and you better be careful along the line, and no more accidents. Never ever again, said Bertie, and I'm very careful. And then the two friends went on their way. When they finished, Bertie went to see Spencer. You're on time, said Spencer, and well done for taking the passengers, and the Duke and Duchess is very pleased as well, said Bertie. For the last gleeful whistles and horns, the two friends went back to work.